motivating, encouraging, impact, impact with speaker.
Be inspired.
Hello friends, welcome again to Impact with PKO. I'm so excited to have you join us again. I believe you are ready for another exciting time together. I am Kaldi Olutayo.
Impact, impact with speaker.
Be inspired.
In the last episode, we talked about being a matter that matters. You have a space, you have a weight, you carry something on your inside. And to every one of us, you are a matter that matters. Today, we are going to go a step further. And this time around, we are going to focus our discussion majorly on the prodigal son, who tends to be the younger brother. The son is actually the embodiment of the story we are talking about, who moved from being somebody to a nobody and then became somebody. Right? So let's just go through some of the attributes, that made this journey very interesting. So I'm going to be talking about the positive attributes of the prodigal son and some of the negative attributes, and we want to learn from some of these things. Now, when I talk about the positive attributes, we want to actually examine some of the things that made the prodigal son very relevant. However, the negative attributes were the ones that actually made him to move from being a somebody to being a nobody. And that's, by the time we talk about it, we might find ourselves in that same shoe. Circumstances might make you to move from somebody to nobody. Anyway, don't let me jump the gun. I will talk about the positive one first, and then we'll look at the negative ones. So let's look at the positive. Let's examine the prodigal son from the positive aspect of him. Yes, most of us, we know about the premature decision he made and some actions he made. However, let's take a close look at it and let's draw out some of these powerful attributes from him. The first one, maybe I should read that portion. It says, the younger son told his father, I want my share of your estate now before you die. Can you see that? Let's look at it now. Number one, the younger son, who is the prodigal son, knew who he was. Can you see that? The second one is that he knew what belonged to him. And then the last point there is that he placed demand on what belonged to him. Let me take it one after the other. The prodigal son knew his source. He knew that he was the son. And that's the question I want to ask you. Do you know who you are? Most times the world will ask you that same singular question. Who are you? Who are you? A lot of people have failed in life because they don't know who they were. And that was it. And that is it. And today, for us, we need to know who we are. And that is it. Identity crisis has been a major problem in the world. The world will ask you, who are you? There is nobody that you see in the scripture that they didn't ask. They asked John, who are you? So people have an opinion about who he was. And yet, he had a clear understanding of who he was. And that was why he could move to the second part by knowing what literally belonged to him. The prodigal son knew what belonged to him. So, knowing who you are plays a very significant role. And it's not just only that. You need to know your right. You need to know that it is your right to be in good health. It is your right to have wealth at your disposal. It is your right to live healthy. All these things are part of the things that have been provided. And this is very profound. That was why the prodigal son made a lot of, I could relate with him. Understanding that will take you above all circumstances. Don't just submit yourself to what people are giving to you. The last point which I want to emphasize on today is that the prodigal son, despite the fact that he knew who he was, he knew what belonged to him, now he placed a demand on the thing that belonged to him. Remember that story that said he went to his father and told his father, "My father, share this part of the estate to me now, before you die." He went to the father and he negotiated his inheritance with his father. Friends, there's one thing for you to know what belongs to you. Another thing is for you to place demand on those things that belong to you. Life will not give you what you want. Life will give you what you place a demand on. The younger son was so bold and he was real. He was a goal-getter. He was not content with the status quo. He literally believed that I can get more. And that is one thing I want to say to you. Don't settle too soon. There's more about you. All right. How can you place a demand? I'll share this story with you. There's a poor guy. I would say a poor guy. He was wretched and he has nothing to offer. Suddenly, he met one of his uncle, and his uncle spoke with him and then gave him a check. And on the check, he wrote $1 million on the check. He gave the young man $1 million check. And the young man collected the check and then he went around shouting, "I am a millionaire. I am a millionaire. I am a millionaire." Oh, yes, yes, yes. I want to ask you, is this young man a millionaire or not? Yes, he has the check that has his name on it. But you know, it is very possible for him to be carrying the check all over the place, saying, "I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire," and yet dies with that check. It is not the carrying of the check or knowing that you have a check that really matters. It needs to go and present the check. By presenting the check means you are placing a demand. That is when you are a millionaire. You are not a millionaire by carrying it, by confessing, by declaring, by positive discussion. No, you need to literally place a demand. And that was what the prodigal son did. He placed a demand. The young man went to the bank and dropped the check. Though, irrespective of who he was or how he dressed, when they get to the counter, they don't have any business with him. Who they have business with is the issuer of the check, the person that gave him the check. So they don't have any problem with you. So your status does not really determine how great you are going to be. As long as you have the check, just place a demand. And then the banker has no choice than to order it. Who they have business with? It is the person that gave the check. So I'm saying to you, friends, that you need to stop complaining. Place demand on your gift. Go and make demand on what you carry. And I know that the next time I hear from you, it will be good news of testimonies that you have moved from where you are to the place that you belong. In the next episode, I will be sharing with you the negative attributes of the prodigal son. How he moved from being a somebody to a nobody. You can't afford to miss the next episode. Looking forward to see you. Thank you. Keep on shining. God bless you.